Kentucky and the Georgia Bulldogs. Joe, I got to tell you, I know that personally, I think that this game is not getting talked about enough because people don't really know what they know about Georgia and they don't really know what they know about Kentucky.
Right.
But I think that this is going to be a bigger game for other reasons. I think Georgia's about to smack that ass. Bad baby, all over the field. You know why? I've seen, I have a question for you. Speaking about quarterbacks, how good was your quarterback last year that was in Kentucky? Because Devin Leary can't get nothing going with this offense.
No, they threw the ball like 7 times or something. And this was one of the things I wanted to bring up and talk about.
Devin Leary's looks so bad.
And he's getting propped up a little bit. Like there's been some. Again, it's one of those instances where it's a lot of box score scouting, but I watched some of the throws that he had against Florida. He didn't do anything to help them win this game. It was all Ray Davis.
Awful, dude. They were all. He looked. Joe, he threw a quick slant. I watched the entire game. He threw a quick slant, and it was at the dude's feet, and I'm like, what?
That was the one play that's been stuck in my head. Is that one, and then he had another throw that was very similar to that
fade route. They ran an inside.
Yes.
They ran an inside fade. And, dude, he underthrew it by like 15 yards.
Yeah, I don't really get this love for Devin Leary. He has the last game against Florida, he was 9 for 19 for a 1 touchdown for 69 yards. He hasn't gone over. He went over 315 against Akron. That's it. That's the extent of it.
Hey, my Meemaw Jewel. Meemaw. Me and Josh Pate both have Meemaws. That's my Meemaw. She could throw for 300 yards against Akron.
Right.
Okay. I think that this game is going to be different because I think Georgia gets it rolling, brother. What I saw from Carson Beck in the second half of last week, I really like the kid. I think the kid can really play. The reason, though, that I think that this is going to be tough for Kentucky, if Devin Leary cannot throw the ball on Florida, that secondary for Georgia is going to eat him alive. I don't think that Ray Davis is going to have a massive game. I really don't. I think that front seven is going to get after him. This game has got to be a 17-14 type game for Kentucky to win. I don't think they can score more than 17 points. I really don't. I don't know how many times they can even get in the red zone. The best team that they had 3 years ago with Will Levis and that I think it was 3 years ago. I think they finished second in the East. That team got to the red zone, I think, twice, and it took every bit of energy that they had to get down there. Every bit. And they missed both times. I don't think that they have the personnel. Now, I will tell you, there's a kid from Kentucky named Witherspoon, the corner. Remember how last year I told you about Emmanuel Forbes, and Emmanuel Forbes would go and be a first-round pick, even though you said he wouldn't. And by the way, he's lighting up the league. He could be the defensive rookie player of the year.
No, Devin Witherspoon's going to win that.
He's got 4 picks. He leads in every statistical category. He leads in every statistical category.
We both watched that Monday Night Football game, but continue.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about him.
He had a pick 6. He's had multiple picks. He's had multiple crazy plays. Sorry. Continue.
Well, there's another Witherspoon. Mm-hmm. One of them is at Kentucky. He might be the best cover corner in the SEC. He might be I think he said multiple pick sixes himself. If Carson Beck is not careful with Kentucky defensively, he might have a bad day too, which could keep this game close. It makes it very interesting. Everybody keeps telling me about Ray Davis. I love Ray Davis. Joe, I'll put him in my Heisman watch list that we did on Monday. I don't think he gets it going like that. I don't think he can run on this team like that.
So I think you've highlighted this really well. This game is being painted, as you've said, by some as an opportunity for Kentucky to upset Georgia, and I don't see that at all. I think that for a Georgia team that has been trying to find their footing and their identity, this is a way to re-announce themselves to the world. Stop doubting us. We remember last year when we really took seriously the Tennessee-Georgia game is going to be a close battle, and they whooped Tennessee. And I think that not similar to that game, but a similar circumstance where we're going to be reminded today or on Saturday who they are exactly. Kentucky is just Ray Davis. The rest of their team's just a bunch of guys. They can't throw the ball that well or consistently, and they dominated Florida running the ball, which was a huge accomplishment. But it felt like that they were doing that out of necessity. It felt like they were doing that because they just had to keep going to him, and it was working. Not because it's one of the best rushing attacks in college football. It was because they just had to keep going to it, and it happened to result in a historic day by Ray Davis. I think for Georgia, defensively, we're going to be reminded what they are and how freaking good they are. You're talking about Kentucky's corners. I think that Bullard and Dalen Everett are two of the best corners in the country. And I think that Dalen Everett continues to show me he is a really good player. They're not going.
Starks is a dude too, man. Starks can come down in that nickel and you're in trouble.
If they're struggling, Kentucky's struggling to throw the ball against Florida, they're not going to move the ball through the air against this Georgia team. It could be one of those games where first drive, Ray Davis has a couple nice runs. They score a touchdown. Georgia's like, all right, we figured out what they're doing. And then it ends up being like 30-7. I feel like it's more likely for that to happen.
Can I tell you something that I don't know if you're going to agree with, but this is just my thought.
Okay.
I just have this rolling around in my brain. God, I have so much more respect for Will Levis.
I mean, he was
they're running 2-man routes. They're doing the same thing that they did with him last year. They are not giving Leary. I get what you're saying on Leary, but they're not giving him enough options to actually be good worth a shit. I think it took everything for Will Levis to get to that 62% completion percentage. You know, like
I still think that Levis.
No, I'm not talking about as a prospect. I'm not talking about as a prospect. Get him being a prospect out of your mind for just a minute. If we're just talking about a college quarterback, like, bro, you see how anemic they are in the pass game right now, and they got better receivers than they did a year ago.
Is Hairston the kid you're talking about?
What did I say? What did
Witherspoon.
I say?
Witherspoon.
Yeah, you kept saying Witherspoon. Hairston.
You said Witherspoon.
Dredge, number 31.
Yes, it's, Maxwell Hairston.
Maxwell Hairston, yeah. Him.
Okay.
Why did I say Witherspoon? Because you said Witherspoon.
Because Devin Witherspoon's that good, and you got him stuck in your head. That's why.
Well, I was about to say, and you were like, well, Witherspoon. That's probably why I said. But yes, Hairston, 31. He had a pick six against Vandy. And I know it's Vandy, but AJ Swan's not a dud of a quarterback. He's not a dude. Like, he can be a dude. If by the way, hey, hold on. By the way, I heard something. Remember on the 4th of October, AJ Swan might hit the portal. And I know a team that's going to be after him.
Oh, remind me after, by the way. I have really even more annoying trade news that I heard. I'm going to tell you later. Or not trade, transfer. I said trade, transfer portal news. I'm going to tell you later. It can't be public, but.
Well, you heard about Audric Estime.
He's not leaving. Why would you?
He said he wanted to play for Brian Kelly.
Shut up. You stink.
Joe, I'm not lying.
You're making that up.
He said that he's tired of Marcus Freeman.
He has put up. Shut up. I'm not entertaining this. Shut up. Look, we're in agreement here.
All right, go ahead.
What? No, I'm just going to say that we're in agreement here that this on paper looks like a ranked on ranked battle between two good SEC teams, when in reality, one is a lot better than the other, and it's a get right week for Georgia.
I agree. And look, Georgia's getting a little healthier too. We saw Lad Mahonky there last week. Yes, I call him Mahonky. They're getting a little healthier. And I do think, look, man, I like Carson Beck a lot. I think that he is a better overall. He has better. Here's something that you're going to be really happy that I said. He has better overall traits than Stetson ever could have. And you know what's crazy, man? If you look at side by side by all the Georgia quarterbacks of the past, he looks like a lot of them. And like he could be a solid, more athletic Aaron Murray. And if he's Aaron Murray with that defense, they're going to win a national title. They're going to win a national title if that happens. So
he's very, very physically gifted. And I think that for all of the things that have gone on, new offensive coordinator, injured offensive line, which actually their offensive line hasn't been as bad as some people have painted it to be. They're just a lot of young players.
And they've had injuries along that offensive line.
They're actually, despite those injuries, they're actually 13th in sacks allowed and 24th in tackles for loss allowed. They're actually not playing as bad as some people are describing them. I think it's that running back issue, the receiver issues, all that stuff. You get to me every single show. So let's not act like that. This show should be renamed, instead of Ruffino and Joe show, the Ruffino gets to Joe show. That's what we should call it.
Do I really make you that mad?